Number 4. Static TV people. Okay, so this happened when I was younger, about 6 or 7 years old. I was in bed trying to sleep when I shifted my position and laid on my back. I couldn't sleep, so I looked around my room trying to make my eyes tired at least. When I got looking at the door, I saw a man about 6 feet tall holding hands with a small child. They both looked black and white, almost static like you see on a TV channel. They just stood there, and after 30 seconds the big one asked for help. Where is she? I didn't know what he was talking about, so I stared at them quietly. After like 2 minutes they left. They walked away, not just vanishing. And then an hour after or so they left and a woman knocked the door. She looked like she was also made out of static. All she said was, "Have you seen them?" Of course I thought she was talking about the 2 people I saw earlier, so I slowly pointed in the direction they went. I could tell she turned her head that way, and then she walked away.
Number 3. My subconscious or something else. This may not seem scary to read, yet experiencing it was definitely scary. Ever since I moved into my new house, I always had a feeling that someone is watching me. I'm not sure what it is though. Sometimes I'll be walking and I'll feel a cool breeze on my neck, nowhere else but to my neck. The scariest times are always when I'm sleeping. Every night, I wake up around 3 in the morning and I have this feeling that something is watching me. Sometimes I can feel it want to touch me, but something always stops it. Dad says that it's just my subconscious. One night, I woke up in time to hear a loud bang coming from the inside of my roof. I lay there and tried to fall asleep. After the bang, I hear something like a loud sigh or hiss. Another night, I remember having a nightmare. I woke and standing on the edge of my bed was a doll. You know those baby dolls that little children hold. I closed my eyes for a couple of seconds and it disappeared. Yet another night, I remember waking up and in front of me, I saw a black mist that was shifting around. I looked towards it, but it kept moving just out of my sight. I finally caught it floating out my door. I'm 14 now, and I'm sure that more experiences are yet to come until I move out.
Number 2. Ghost girl in the hallway. My sister had planned to take a trip to Los Angeles to visit our older brother and his wife. It was during my spring break, so I decided to tag along with her. When we arrived at my brother's house, it was about 3:30 in the afternoon. My sister-in-law greeted us and invited us inside. My sister-in-law had told us months earlier that her 12-year-old niece was able to see spirits and saw a little girl about her age in the hallway. My sister and I don't believe in ghosts, and as such at the time, so we decided to go visit them anyway. Time flew by really quick, and it was time to hit the hay. I woke up in the middle of the night to use the restroom. When I was about to go back to bed, I saw a girl's figure in the hallway. She was just standing there. At first I thought it was my sister that was waiting for me to get out of the restroom, but when I walked towards her, she suddenly ran through me. It scared the life out of me. When I snapped out of it, I ran as fast as I could back to the room. I jumped into bed and put the covers over my head. My sister woke up minutes later and asked me why I was shivering uncontrollably. I told her that I had seen a ghost of a little girl with my very own eyes. The very next day we packed our stuff and drove back home. I could still picture the little girl in my head when I closed my eyes. It's been almost a year now, and I haven't visited my brother and his wife.
Number 1. Pretending to be asleep doesn't work. Here's one that scared the living shit out of me when I was younger. A young boy is sleeping in his bed on a usual night. He hears footsteps outside of his door and peeks to see what is happening. His door swings open quietly to reveal a murderer carrying the corpses of his parents. After silently propping them up on a chair, he writes something on the wall in the blood of the dead bodies. He then hides under the child's bed. The child is scared beyond belief. He can't read the writing on the wall, and he knows the man is under his bed. Like any child, he pretends that he slept through the whole thing and hasn't awoken yet. He lays as still as the dead corpses, quietly hearing the breaths from under his bed. An hour passes and his eyes are adjusting more and more to the darkness. He tries to make out the words, but it's a struggle. He gasps when he finally makes out the sentence, "I know you're awake." He feels something shift under his bed.